Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. In this episode, we're previewing the second semi-final in the T20 World Cup between Pakistan and Australia. What a game it's going to turn out to be. Pakistan have been undefeated in this tournament, playing some excellent cricket, a brilliant brand of cricket led by Babar Azam. Their batting has been spot on, something we haven't associated Pakistan with. It's normally their bowling that wins them tournaments and brings them back into tournaments, but this time their batting has looked really solid and the bowlers have contributed. They've stuck to their task. Of course, there's been the odd bowler who gets hit, but with the way they're batting, the way they're batting, the bowlers are getting that confidence as well to pick up wickets and defend, either defend scores or set up targets for the batsmen. Also with the batting, a very, very big thing is that in Pakistan, if their openers don't perform, then the middle order performs. If the middle order doesn't perform, then the lower order performs. Example being in the first game against India, it was Rizwan and Babar Azam. Then in the second game against New Zealand, it was Shoaib Malik and Asif Ali. In the game against Afghanistan, it was Asif Ali himself. And it's been a great batting display for Pakistan. With the bowling, Shaheen Afridi has led the way. He's bowled brilliantly with the new ball, probably the best bowler right now in the tournament, especially with that new ball. He's got it to swing. He's gotten wickets like Rohit Sharma, like KL Rahul, and he's broken the back of a lot of teams in this tournament, and it's difficult to face him. Imad Wasim has, tied one end up. He's picked up wickets as well, and he's not let the economy rate go past 5-6. And that power play, and outstanding bowling with the new ball, very good control from Imad Wasim. Haris Rauf, after being a bit expensive in the warm-up games and even in the India game, he got hit a bit, but after that, the way he's developed the slower ball against New Zealand, he was brilliant. Shadab has, used his variations as well. Hassan Ali has been that inconsistent bowler, but he's a wicket taker. So even if he does go for runs, he can pick up wickets and suddenly put breaks on the opposition. For Australia, it looked like they might not make it to the semi-finals, despite winning all games except for one. They still could have gone out if it wasn't for net run rate. It was the game against Bangladesh and West Indies that turned it around for them because of the margin which they won with. If they didn't win with that margin, then South Africa would have probably gone through. And credit to Australia. You can say that South Africa deserved it as well, but credit to Australia, the margin which they won, and they understood the situation. They played to that, and some of the players have now found form, especially David Warner at the top. He's been brilliant in that last game against West Indies. He looked like the vintage Warner. Finch has given starts when needed. Smith has anchored here and there. Maxwell has not reached those peaks yet that we saw in the IPL, but he's a dangerous player. With the ball, Adam Zampa has been outstanding. He's picked up wickets on regular intervals, picked up a bunch of wickets. His googly has been good as well in this World Cup. He's bowling well against the left-handers, and it'll be a good matchup. Zampa between Zampa and Shoaib Malik and Hafiz. That matchup will be good because they're experienced players who have played spin, and sometimes they will be tempted. How does he adapt to these kind of players? If they do look to work him around, how does he entice them to play that big shot? That would be, a key to watch from both of his sides' point of view. Now, coming to Australia's fast bowling, Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins. Everyone talks about them as being as test bowlers, but they're very experienced bowlers. At times, yes, they do look like they look tired, they look fatigued. Sometimes it looks like they're just line in length, they don't have the variations. But at other times, they look outstanding. Hazelwood, in particular, has been brilliant this tournament since the IPL. He's changed his game. He's developed slower balls, and with the new ball, he's been very accurate. It's been difficult to get him away. Mitchell Stark has been a wicket taker. I would like to see him bowl a few more Yorkers and really test the Pakistani batsmen in this game. Whereas Pat Cummins, again, I think he's been a bit off compared to the other two. He's coming back from an injury as well, and he'll be looking to be back at his best. He's someone who has had success in UAE as well, so looking forward to how he bowls. For me, this game, Pakistan are favorites. For Australia, if they want to get into this game, of course, toss is going to be a huge thing. Whoever wins the toss will have an advantage. They will bowl first, and with the dew coming, whoever it is will have an advantage, especially in that fresh wicket. There'll be some stickiness there, and the bowlers can exploit that. In the second innings, the batsman can exploit the dew. So that will be there for sure. But either way, I think the key, if Australia want to have a chance in this game, is Warner and Finch. They have to get off to a flyer, put pressure on Imad Wasim, put pressure on Shaheen Afridi. It's not going to be easy because these are world-class bowlers, especially Shaheen Afridi is probably the best bowler right now in the world, especially fast bowling with the new ball. He's been outstanding in this format, in particular in these conditions. So it's not going to be easy, but they have to get off to a flyer. They have to put the Pakistani bowlers under pressure. Pakistani bowlers in this tournament have always picked up wickets in the power play. They've put the pressure on the opposition throughout the middle overs, and sometimes they've got hit in the death overs, but not too much. Even against Afghanistan, when they were getting hit in the power play, they were picking up 4 or 5 wickets. So they always had the opposition on the back foot. For Australia to do that, they'll have to be smart about it. They'll have to. Ideally, it's a Warner blitz. He gets 40 of 20, and or Finch gets 50 of 30. That's how you're going to put Pakistan under pressure. If you let the new ball bowlers pick up wickets, and that's the thing, like I say, bowl at you, even if they tie them up, I think Pakistan will still have a very good chance of winning the game, even if they don't lose a wicket, Australia in the power play. But if it's an economy of 5-6, the Pakistan are still in the game, and then the middle overs, spinners will come in and they will put pressure. So that's why I think it's getting off to a very good start. It doesn't have to be a 60 of 6 or anything like that. It could be a 40 of 6. It could be a 45 of 6. But it's just getting those runs flowing and putting some pressure so that Babar Azam has to do something differently. He has to do something. He has to go to another bowler. He has to change his plan. If you're going to let Pakistan switch the plans, there is such a good side. They're going to trap you. With the new ball, then the middle overs, then in the death overs, they will trap you. And now their batting is so good that if one doesn't get you, the other one will. So, Australia will have to be smart the way they bat. Also, the Babar Azam is one that's going to be key for Pakistan. Australia will have to remove them early and put pressure on the middle order. Of course, the middle order has also struck some form. Sure, Malik has been outstanding. Hafiz has provided, with runs. So has Asif Ali. It's not going to be easy for the Australian bowlers, but they have an experienced attack as well. So Pakistan have to be careful. Having said that as well, for me, the players to watch out for from Pakistan, I'm going to go with Imad Wasim with that new ball, especially how he bowls to David Warner, because that angle will suit Warner. Will Warner look to attack him? And if he does, what is Imad Wasim's game plan? I'm sure he will look to try to pick up his wicket, but also contain at the same time. So that's a bowler to watch out for, Imad Wasim. And I think he can contribute with the bat, especially if the game gets a bit close. Then Imad Wasim and someone who can finish off the game for Pakistan. Then with the bat, though, I'm going to go in this game. I'm going to go with, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go with David Warner. I think he's the batsman who can change the game, who can get Australia into this game and really push for a semi-final win. Otherwise, it will be difficult if Australia. But they do have batting. They have Maxwell there. They have Steve Smith there. Of course, it is possible even if Warner and Fitch fail. But is that momentum? We've seen Australia do really well when they have momentum at the top. When they lose these players, they get under pressure. So I think Warner will be key. Of course, Maxwell will also play his part. He's someone who can unsettle the bowlers, especially the spinners. Imad Wasim, Shadab. Maxwell won't let them bowl at him. Either he'll get out or he'll hit them for boundaries. So Australia will be hoping that he doesn't get out. But I think he's someone who can put the Pakistani bowlers under pressure, but he has a risk of getting out as well because he does play aggressive cricket. And that's where Pakistan can look to attack him. I think those are the Pakistani players to watch out for. For Australia, with the ball, there's plenty of options. As Adam Zampa, like I mentioned, he's been outstanding. But I'm going to go with Pat Cummins. I think Pat Cummins is someone who can rush the Pakistani batsman. He has pace as well. He has good line length. He can swing the ball. And also, he hasn't had a great tournament. It's maybe, Babar Azam and Rizwan look to hit him again and put him under pressure. And it might be like that. But I think Pat Cummins is someone who can have an impact in this game. And he's someone who will need to try and pick up wickets early on. So Pat Cummins is the bowler to watch out. And I think that, like I said, batsman was David Warner. So that pretty much wraps it up from the key players' point of view. Prediction for me, I think Pakistan are favorites in this game, 60-40. The reason why I'm giving Australia 40, I still feel they have a really good team. People say that, they're not a T20 side or anything, but they do have players who can play T20 cricket. They have Maxwell, they have Warner, they have Finch, they have Steve Smith, who in these conditions can be very useful with the bat. And they have bowlers, they have a leg spinner. They have some all-rounders as well. And Stoinis, Mitchell Marsh, we haven't talked about Mitchell Marsh doing good form in the last game. So Australia are a good side, but they're up against a strong Pakistan team, especially in these conditions, especially who have momentum. So that's why I'm giving Pakistan, the favorite tag. And Pakistan's batting is looking really good in this series. It's not just their bowling; they look like a much more balanced side. And this is the best cricket I've seen them play for a long, long, long time. And it's going to be a tough ask for Australia, but it should be a cracking game because Australia has no pushover. And if they can play to potential, really learn from the mistakes that they made against England, if they do bat first, then, this could be a very good contest. It's going to be a very good semi-final. Both semi-finals are going to be outstanding. But yeah, I think that wraps up this semi-final preview. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for the latest content from the T20 World Cup and the latest cricketing content in general as well. Take care.